party for the party, but I wanted to make sure that things were up and running with my projector and the files before I went ahead and hopped on here. Everything is good to go, so we're cleared to cut. I have cheated on you guys. I've already made my coffee. So this is feeling very much so like a prepared sip and sew. All right, friends. So let's go ahead and get started. I have my projector on and set up, which means that it is just ready and willing, ready and waiting for you all to go to see. Oh, and the designer himself has joined us, the Julian creates, who's probably like, girl, what happened to you last night? Because we were supposed to record. Alas, I'm doing the best I can with what it is I got. But also, I got caught up writing, and then I looked up and it was like 11 o'clock, and I was like, oh, snap. Um, but let's go ahead and cut this pattern out. There are, I'm sure that Julian knows this off the top of his head, but there's like 10 pattern pieces that we got to cut. Y'all already know your girl really be struggling with pattern pieces or patterns that have a whole lot. Good morning. So there's, let's see, 10 pieces that we got to cut. And then we're also cutting, of course, we're also going to be cutting our fabric, and we've got some things that are interfaced as well. I have everything up and running on the projector. I didn't necessarily have to make too many changes. So very, very excited about that. So if you're wondering if with your PDF downloads from the McCall Simplicity KnowMe website will work with your projector, they will. You can, of course, trace these pattern pieces and kind of make them more your own. I do have a class that goes over that. But with that, let's go ahead and get cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and turn you guys around. Y'all, my office is a mess. I almost was like, you know what? I'm not gonna sew today because I need to clean up. But then I was like, this is just an excuse because trying new patterns can be a little intimidating for me. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, right? Because we all struggle with change. We all struggle with new things. Which of course is the real reason why I started this challenge. Because as much as I love to buy new patterns, your girl really does struggle with making them. So we're in new pattern November. Our first new pattern that we're sewing, and by we I mean me. Also, it's freezing in my house. My first new pattern that I'm sewing is my dear brother Julian. Julian creates. This is his pattern. So yeah, I should probably see if I can. I do want to make sure that this is looking right as far as sizing goes. So let me whip out a ruler and measure, right? Because we do want to make sure that this is correct. Let's see, is there anything on here I could measure? It doesn't look like it. We'll just go for it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Somebody else will just get a new pair of pants. It's fine. That's my fly facing. Okay. Because I don't know, man. Like, I feel like my husband's pants should be longer. So let me just do a little measuring. Hold on one second. Let's just measure. So I'm just finding a point on here whose measurement I think I would know. Actually, let's see. I'm also like, I do actually have the tissue pattern here as well. So I have this, let me just show y'all what I'm gonna measure. So I have this here block that's on the actual pattern piece itself. So I'm gonna measure that, and then I'm gonna compare that to the measurement that I have on here. So let's see what this is measuring, because this is my first time cutting one of these. Oh man, this is the wrong fabric. Man, listen, Denver would have been like, why did you make me like this here printed no worries, got his fabric right here. He would have been like, oh my god, why do I have this crazy ass fabric? That is like a pebbled it's like a textured type of deal. Why can't I find not one ruler when I need it? Okay. So let's see. We've got centimeters over here, so this is fine. All right, so this is about like 5 centimeters. Maybe that's what that 5 means. Yeah, we'll do that 5 centimeters. And then let's measure here. It's not, oh wait, nope. Lines up perfectly. This is the right size. We in there. All right, so let's get ready to cut them. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and move this. Take me off of here. There we go. Excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and cut. Especially now that I have the right fabric, y'all. If I would have cut Denver's stuff out of that fabric, I mean, he would have been appreciative, but he definitely would have been like, did you mean for me to have this kind of fabric? That is so silly to me. So I'm using a Ponte knit for him. Ponte knit is like some of my favorite fabric, but I think that this is something that he will really like. I think that the most that I've made him is like t-shirts, sweaters, like boxers. He hasn't been able to know the joy. Let's just fold this completely in half. He hasn't been able to know the complete joy of Ponte knit. So I'm going to just fold this completely in half because we've got both the back and the front of the pattern piece to cut. And this is technically, if I were to be someone who made muslins, this is technically a little muslin situation. This has a pin tuck both in the, oops, there goes the remote to our television. I don't know why it was in here anyway, so whatever, Godspeed. So this is his first experience with a little Ponte situation. So we've got both the front and the back. We've got enough space here. There we go. And you guys, like my cutting table obviously is not clear, or this would have been a lot easier. Your girl needs to spend some quality time cleaning up. We're not there yet. So for my husband, I'm cutting him a size 40 in the men's, a 40 waist. Let's make sure this is lined up. Okay. So I'm following this outer line here. We are not going to do any grading. Again, because this is the first time that I've made him pants. So just gonna take that down. I'm gonna come back and do all of my notch marking in just a second. So now when Julian came out with this pattern, y'all, I was so damn geeked about it. But you guys know, and if you don't know, now you do know, I do not love cutting out tissue patterns. So becoming a KnowMe designer for me was super fun. Like a lot of the other pattern designers already understood the ease of these patterns. I did not, because I did not use them. So that was a little bit of a learning curve your girl had to go through. Okay, so I scooched this over a little bit so that I could go ahead and line this up. Oh wait, I forgot to mark my notches. Literally just said, oh, I've got to mark my notches before I move that. Hold on. Let's go back. We're not completely lined up. And okay, so now we're relined up for the most part. So I'm looking for one of my kind of like chalk pens. I did just have to pack them up. Some of them, I thought. Didn't think I packed them all up. But here I am looking for a pen. So I had to pack them up because I'm working on some costumes. This is like my first time, y'all. This is my first time. Okay, that looks better. So working on costumes. And so what I'm doing right now is I am just going ahead and marking these here. That's not working so well for me. That is not working so well. I wish I could find my white one. Okay, so instead we're going to use this notch cutter. It's actually like a little machine type of thing. Not machine, obviously. I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little bit of pressure because because he's on here with me and he's doing this, or rather he sees me doing his pattern. I know I'm like over here telling myself like, no pressure, don't worry about it, no pressure. Okay, so this is I am gonna mark my big circle here. I'm gonna say a prayer that shows up. Let's see. Okay. I'm just trying to move just to make sure that it got marked. Because that right there is a really big, important piece right there. Now I'm gonna just mark some key notches here. So I needed that marked. This one gets a double notch. Okay. Gonna mark up here. I feel like that's good enough notches. That will work for me. So now let's pull that off. All right, so that was the front piece. So now we're gonna move on to the back. We are not doing welt pockets today. Julian, do not judge my life. I just don't feel like it today. It's not in my spirit. Okay, so we're gonna cut the back out. I can't tell y'all how tickled I am at the fact that I can cut this out from my projector. Because, like, of course, Julian's pattern was, like, one of the first ones that I bought from our collection. And I've been telling my husband for a year now I was going to make him these pants. But you know why I didn't make them? Because I was like, you know what I can't fathom? I cannot see myself doing all this cutting out. That, of course, comes along with the tissue pattern life. I was just like, it's just not for me. Pick somebody else to do it. So, okay. So our backs are cut out. Because I'm not doing the welt pockets, I'm not marking anything back there. So let's pull that off. All right, so let's go ahead. See what else is on here. So, all right, so we got to get this. We definitely need this pocket. Okay. Just checking my fabric that I have left over. I bought like 4 yards of this just to, you know, just to be sure. Here's what I will say about how these like patterns are set up on these PDFs. It's like the Wild Wild West on here, y'all. Literally. Okay, so let's see here. And so we've got our pocket piece here. So we've got 2 of these we're cutting out. Now I will be using my serger for most of the construction of this. Except of course for the pin tucks. Let me see if I can find another marker. I don't know if this green is going to show up, but let's see. Nope, it's not really showing up, but a girl can dream. And so I'm trying to use the color pens for the oops, that didn't cut. Hold on. I'm trying to use the color pens for the marking of the dots. It's not really working, so we're gonna just have to play dots by ear. All right, so we've got 19 over here to cut as well. And we're doing 2 of those in addition to 2 interfacing pieces. So this is piece number 19 that we're going for here. And so we're going for this line, which is the size 40. I'm also going to go ahead because I do have some interfacing already kind of cut sitting here. So we're going to also cut our interfacing as well. I don't necessarily want for my interfacing to like line up perfectly with my pattern pieces because I do want there to be space for me to actually stitch in. I don't really like to sew over my interfacing pieces. Okay, so this is pattern piece number 19. I'm gonna clip this together and I'm gonna write it on the interfacing piece because at least that way that will show up. So putting 19 right there. Let's clip that together. All right, let's move on. Okay, so we need this pattern piece number 14. I'm skipping over 16, or rather 17, because I'm not doing the, I am not doing the welt pockets. So pattern piece number 14 is like over here. We only need 1 of these. And this is the fly facing. And so again, we're going to have to interface this. I'm going to see if I do have, if there's enough of this interfacing piece left. It doesn't look like this is going to fit at all. But we've got a whole roll of interfacing right here. Okay, so let's get our fly facing cut. And also on the interfacing, I can mark my circle, which I am kind of happy about. And this is like a little awkward. Let me move y'all over some so I can actually have my arms free to cut. And let's just go up here. Did I cut all the way around? Okay. All right. I'm going to move this now and go ahead and mark the dot on here because, again, I can see that there. All right. And then where is my notch marker? So then let's just mark our double notches here. And clip that together. Okay. So I think we got everything off of this page that we need. Oops. All right, so we need the pocket piece off of here. And that's it on this page. So the way that this, this actually comes on 3 separate pages, or 3 separate PDFs, should I say. Which means that I've had to stitch together essentially 3 different pages, or 3 different files, which is why I am like kind of going back and forth in between different files. And I feel like that is like a good to know, especially for my PDF peeps. Okay, so we've got our pocket piece right here. I'm gonna probably end up cutting this twice because I want to be able to use this area. Otherwise, it's just gonna be like unusable. And yeah, I can't even tell you guys how much I love Ponte knit. The beautiful thing about Ponte is that I don't want to say there's no true right from wrong side, but yeah, there's no true right from wrong side. I saw this girl on Instagram and she said she does all of her like all of her muslins or all of her, you know, first time with a garment out of black. And of course now she has all of this black clothing, but with black, of course, you can't really see mistakes. And I'm like, oh, this is genius, right? Because how many times have we just opted out of wearing something, you know, because it's like, oh, I don't want to. Let's see, what size elastic do I need? I don't know what size elastic I need. But, you know, many of us have opted out of wearing something because it's not perfect. So, all right, let's go ahead and bring this over and cut out piece number 18. We're also going to have to, oh, I cut out 2 of that one. Okay, so I guess I didn't need to cut 2 out of that previous pattern piece. So let's line this up. So this is the right front waistband. We do need interfacing here as well. And again, not going to be lined up perfectly, which is my goal because I am allowing for my seam allowances here. Like, did I already cut that? I did not cut that. There we go. So this is piece number 18. So I'm just going to write 18 on this. Good morning, Kay. Skiing is fun for me, but I get lost. It's probably because I sometimes, yeah, I don't always notch either. Which is kind of why I feel like, you know, of course, trying a new pattern can be hard because all the patterns that I traditionally use, you know, I know all of those pattern pieces, you know what I mean? All right, so that is, we've got 18, 21. That is just, so I need back casing B, and I think I'm done. All right, so let's cut out our back casing. This is piece number 20, and we're cutting this on the fold. And we are not going to be interfacing this piece. Ooh, y'all. My fabric is fabricing out here. Okay, let's see. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that this was drafted for like both double knits as well as for like, if Julian is here, he can correct me, but I feel like you can also do this with just straight up wovens. Like you don't have to necessarily have stretch in it, which I really like about this pattern. Okay, so this of course is that. Now let's go ahead and cut our elastic. Now I see how big our casing is for our waistband. Wait, did I change this? I did, okay. Let's take a look at our casing. I think we can do probably like, I'm sure it calls for like 3/4 inch. Let's see. I don't think I have 3/4 inch elastic. Let's see. Okay. I don't feel like it's there. I'm like taking a lot of thought work here. Let's see. I don't have the hook and eye closure, so I think we might switch to a button closure. Oh, okay, that's for a, okay. I need a 7-inch zipper. Oh, okay, so we're not making our own drawstring, so I'll make my own drawstring. And then, yeah, 1-inch elastic. I've got 1-inch elastic, so let me pull that out. And we will do a good black. So let's go ahead and just cut. So the back is elastic. We stand for a little elastic waistband, a little back elastic, right? Okay, and so this secondary cut line here is what we're going for. So that's our elastic. Perfect. All right, friends, we're done cutting. Now it's time to construct. Now, one of the things that I did not mark, which is fine because it's in the center, I did not mark where I am supposed to do my pin tucks, but what I will, and I'm not saying that I'm an expert at pin tucks, I'm just saying that Made for Mermaids did do a pin tuck sweatpant. So, based off of what I learned from there, again, not saying I'm an expert, but your girl knows a little something about making these pin tucks. I was actually talking to Will about these pin tucks. Sorry, I was looking for my coffee. I was talking to Will about the pin tucks, and he was like, oh, I don't have a pin tuck foot. And I was like, you don't need a pin tuck foot. You just need to be able to find your point that you're measuring to and from, find the center, and then just so like a 1/8 inch little stitch, and it's fine. So let's go ahead on over to Brenda. We do have to change out threads in all of the machines because we're still set up for yellow. Now on Tuesday, I made a bralette for my daughter. So we used yellow for that. And then I have gold because I think the last thing that I sewed on Brenda For those who are new here, Brenda is my sewing machine. So the last thing I made on Brenda was, I think I was working on the costumes. So I have gold in here. Well, I do think that my husband would like some black and gold. That is not what we're doing for our first run of this pattern. So let's scooch on over, sit down and get set up, grab some black thread. I am using Aurifil's thread. For those that don't know, I do have a line of threads that are out with Aurifil. They are fantastic. The colors look amazing. I've got them out. I'm actually going to start to set up. Oh, I already have an Aurifil thread that I'm using. Even better. I'm getting ready to start going through and setting up for to start to sew through my fabrics with my threads. Very excited about that. Yeah, my office is a mess. It's a mess. And I get it. Like, most creative space right now might be a little messy because we're out here creating. But, oh, God. I'm just like, do I have a standard or no? So, today we've got to pack up my daughter's sewing machine to go with me for these fittings. So, that'll be fun. I'm very nervous about this. And people are like, why are you nervous? I think that, and it's like, of course, I know I can sew. Not insecure about that. But like, and I'm not going to say that I am a perfectionist because I'm also not a perfectionist. But I don't like for my shit to not, I don't want to say perfect. I don't like for my stuff to not be excellent. You know what I mean? And when I sew for myself and when I sew for my body, it's a lot easier to achieve excellence than it is for when you sew for other people's bodies who you don't have in front of you. You know what I mean? That can be really challenging, really difficult. I'm trying to put my feet away because I apparently have been sewing a lot. Yeah, I have zero couth, zero act right. I'm just like, girl, are you like, get your pigsty of an office together. Okay. So we're going to get ready to put our pin tucks in. Now, some machines might actually offer a pin tuck foot. Not necessary, friends. Not necessary. I do think that I have one black bobbin in there. Toss that back into its box. Let's see. Dang, all of my black bobbins are like, rewind me. Okay. So let's go ahead. Oh gosh, she's dirty. And my bobbin is not releasing. Okay, so I had to take out the whole bobbin case thing because I don't know, for some odd reason my bobbin is not coming out. I feel like she's like, it's time for me to go to the spa. And this is hard because I need to apply counter pressure in order to get it out. Yeah, if I can't get this bobbin out, he's getting gold. He's getting gold. Also, I'm like, is there like a way to release this in the event that she don't want to come out? Okay, well, let me continue cleaning for one quick second because she's quite dirty. Looking for a brush. One of the things that, well, I don't think I'm necessarily a stickler for, but one of the things I am very cognizant about is in making sure that my machines, at the bare minimum, have been brushed out. Not all machines require oiling. Something that, you know, each machine, of course, has its kind of individual needs, and for maintenance, you should definitely consult your manual to see what that looks like for your machines. I know that I knew that she needed to be brushed out because of how she was sounding. And I feel like as you get to know your machines better, like there are certain things that stand out to you, you know? Like, is there like an emergency release? Okay, so I'm going to try to put this back in, and then maybe I can release it again. I promise you now it's coming to me why Julian has so many machines. Because if if one of his machines was acting up, Julian would be, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that this back here was it, but I feel like every time I stick something in there, it's still not releasing. Because that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, maybe I'm just not doing it hard enough. I don't know. Of course, now I'm like, is there a way that I could just do this on Bernadette? Because Brenda, girl, what's going on, sis? Why are you acting like this? Yeah, I cannot believe that I can't get my bobbin to release. This has never happened before. I'm over here like, maybe I should go onto Google. I can't get my bobbin to release. Good morning, Amani. Okay, let's see. Nope. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it back in. Pop it back in here. Let's see. Okay, got it in. Let's just see if I start to sew with it, what will happen. And then maybe if I, you know what I mean? Let's just see. Let us just see what will happen. Let's see. Nope, that didn't do it either. Oh, goodness gracious. Of course, now I'm like, how much I don't want to take the design element out of it as far as the pin tuck goes. But I'm also like, you guys, I can't get my bobbin to release. And you know, I'm all for having mistakes and faux pas happen on lives because then it shows people how we navigate through them. But um I'm at a complete loss, y'all. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and completely thread the machine. Brenda, what is going on, sis? Like, why are you behaving this way? We got company? Are you acting like this? Girl. Let's see. Listen, if it sews, he's just gonna get this gold on one side, okay? And we're just gonna say it's because he's golden in my eyes, you know? Yeah, that shit is not coming out. Okay. Well, we gonna go today. He's gonna get gold. That's all we can do, right? Because this is all that we have. Doing the best that I can with what it is I got. Sorry, my lens was a little dirty. All right, so we're popping these here pin tucks in. Because here's the thing, we still have a party that we've got to start. So we're just gonna keep this going, you know? All right. Let's pull out these pieces. I've got to drop them on the floor so that I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So we've got piece number 1. I'm going to flip you guys around so that you guys can see how I do my pin tucks. First thing that I'm going to do is fold it in half because your pin tuck should be in the middle of the leg. I'm going to clip down one side. And so I'm just going to follow this up. Until we get to kind of like this top area. Now, of course, the top is going to look a little, it's not going to look weird, but we've got this together. I know I've watched a video on Bernina stuck bobbins. Looking forward. I haven't had this problem with my Bernina. Listen, I hope nobody has this problem with their Bernina. Such a great inconvenience. But again, we're going to keep this party going because we're here for a good time, not a long time. Okay. Now, I am going to go ahead and take my magnetic seam guide. I am going to just pop that in. Now, I don't really need it because essentially what I'm doing is I'm using my foot as my guide for this here pin tuck. And I'm going to move it over to I'm in station 3 with my needle, and I'm still keeping it lined up, keeping the outer right side of my foot lined up with my fabric. So let me go ahead and turn you all so that this makes sense what I'm saying. So as you can see here, I have this outer area of my foot lined up with the edge of the fabric that is folded over. And so we're just using that as the guide. Now, just be mindful, like, you know, occasionally stop and just kind of check to make sure that your fabric is still like folded in half in the middle. No, I didn't press it first. Of course I didn't press it first. Julian, this is not the proper way to do it. I'm just telling you this right now. Yes. What he said is absolutely correct. You should have pressed this first. But, you know, shortcuts are us, okay? Now we're pin tucking both the front and the back pieces of the fabric. So just make sure that you remember that. Let's see what this is going to look like on the back with this here gold. So this is what it's looking like on the back with the gold, which I feel like is excellent, right? Because it's showing you guys exactly what that distance is. And honestly, it doesn't look bad. You can't even really see it. This is fine. It's fine. And yes, I'm the person the world will be on fire and I'm still talking about this shit. It's just fine. It's okay. Okay, so now we did that side. Again, because this has no true right from wrong side, it can also be the one thing that hangs you up. So what I'm doing now is so this is the first piece. So I just want to make sure that as I do my second piece, right, I'm doing it the right way. Look, I'm like, Julian, please don't come for me up in these comments for not pressing, okay? We already had a conversation about this. If you guys are like, what conversation did you guys have about this? You need to check out our podcast, The Audacity. We have a new episode dropping tomorrow, assuming that Aaronica can get her life together and record the episode. Okay, again. Brenda, I still can't believe that you did this shit, girl. I'm not saying I'm mad, but I'm just saying that, you know, like if we were having a problem, you could have let me know, is all I'm saying. But I'm going to take your ass in because you know what? You're not about to be having me out here looking crazy. Pack your ass up. Drop you off. I mean, I love you so much, Brenda. Just saying. Now, listen, I will say that I do not like a large pin tuck. I did a pretty big pin tuck. I just made a pair before I went to New York. Literally, as I was boarding the flight, I was making pants. But I made that pin tuck really wide, and I did not like how that turned out. So, I really do only want a tiny pin tuck, okay? Now, the directions do not say for you to add your pin tucks in all at once. I don't think that's what they say. I think that they have us doing the front versus the back because we do have to use Brenda, of course, for our listen, Brenda, we need you, sis. Like, I wish you were not over here playing these games. We need you, girl. Okay, so sorry. Just like telling Brenda, hopefully having this conversation with her will help her get her shit together. All right, so we got the front pieces done. Let's move on to these back pieces. Again, still not getting up from the chair to do any kind of ironing or pressing. Judge someone else. Okay. Gonna go ahead, pop this pin tuck in this bitch. Okay. Again, just folding it in half. Now, if you are a stickler for perfection, or if you are like Julian, by all means, please make sure that you press this, okay? As Julian so kindly pointed out in the comments. No, but really, if you do go ahead and press it, it does make it a shit ton easier, depending on the material that you're using. Because I'm using a Ponte knit, pressing it would be helpful, because Ponte does hold, it does hold a good press, okay? I'm using a stitch length of 2.5. I will say for these pin tucks, you do not actually have to keep that 2.5 there. You can go a little bit longer if you want to. Typically, if I'm not using a stitch for construction, right? So like if I'm not piecing it together with the stitch, I will extend my stitch to be about 3 to 3.5, especially for hems and that sort of thing. Unless, of course, I'm putting like a label or something on, and then it's like 1, literally, because I find that if you go smaller with your labels, then you can get the proper amount of stitches that you need on there in order for it to like really make it look like it's a line, versus being like, oh snap, like it's off, you know? You guys, I want to say that making the pin tucks is really satisfying. I love how these are looking. And if you're like, hey, where do you get good Ponte from? I will link to that in the caption as well. Because I love Ponte. I love it because it's a fabric that is truly gender neutral, you know? It just looks so good, y'all. It just looks such a good. And so again, this is what it's looking like on one side. We've got like a little pop out. Whatever. He will really just be happy that I finally made him pants. He's really trying to get me to make him Julian's most recent pattern. And I'm really just trying to get Julian to just send me a jacket that he's already made. Things aren't really working out in my favor for that, but I'm never going to give up. I'm never going to stop trying. So many of you may or may not know, but I live in Atlanta. And y'all, Keith Lee just left Atlanta. Or actually, he might actually be here. I thought he was in Detroit now. But his family came and they've been like eating through Atlanta and essentially kind of destroying Atlanta, dare I say. And I say that jokingly, right? But I actually mean it. In fact, yesterday I had a conversation live with Lisa from Black Women Stitch where we talked about how, one, of course, what happened, why people were so mad, because like the Real Milk and Honey, they were like big mad to the point where they really played themselves in how they handled it. And one of the things that I love to do as someone who is a business coach, as someone who loves business and loves kind of like helping business owners and talking about business, is I have loved to kind of see like what this is like looking like, you know what I mean? Like some people are really big mad and like, who is Keith Lee? Why does his opinion matter and stuff like that? Or people are going to this is why we don't like influencers, blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. Everyone is an influencer. Like, let's start there. Literally everyone who has a phone and an opinion is an influencer. It just so happens that 14 million people on TikTok value his opinion on food. And let me be clear here. I value a lot of people's opinions on food. I said this when I was on my live, about how I went to a I went to an eatery in Decatur here in the Atlanta area, and I asked the guy who was working there. I asked him about the sides, and he was like, "Yep, we've got French fry, we have regular fries, sweet potato fries, potato salad." Now, listen, my husband and I, we really do enjoy potato salad, right? I make a really good. It's like a roasted. Let's see. Just want to make sure that I did this right. Let me make sure. I do a roasted potato salad. Okay. Whew. Yeah, I was about to. I'm not gonna say I was gonna flip out, but I would have been highly upset in the event that I did this wrong. Okay. So we got our pin tucks in, putting those to the side. Now we've got to I'm gonna go ahead and do the as much as I can on Brenda while she's behaving as though she's senseless. Let's go ahead and see if she's ready to release this bobbin. Come on, Brenda. Let me see. I'm like, maybe she doesn't like me using my nail. No. Still, come on. Brenda is not releasing the bobbin. As you guys can see, nothing here is happening. Makes me very unhappy. It's fine though. Everything will be fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and get our fly together. Okay. But so the fly is going to go on the left front. So it needs to be here. No, because this is going to be, okay, this is not where we're putting our zipper. We're putting our zipper on this side because this is going to turn around and be the left. Okay. So we've got our left piece. I just want to label it because, again, I will get things backwards because sometimes it's how my mind works. So just so that I can lay this out, I want to make sure that I did, in fact, kind of do this the right way as far as even my interfacing goes, because it's fusible interfacing. This is the side right here that does get fused onto this side. But again, because of the nature of Ponte, there is no true right from wrong. So I just want to make sure that it is right, if that makes sense. So it's going to be like this, and then it's going to flip, and then that is going to be showing. I don't know if that's exactly what I would like. So I think I'm going to recut my, I'm going to recut my interfacing piece because I do want to make sure that my interfacing piece does, in fact, I want it to be essentially like this. So that way, when I fold this piece over and it goes on the inside, that the inside has a clean finish as well. So let's go ahead and recut that piece to be the exact opposite of how I cut it. Then we're going to go ahead and I didn't see a zipper guard, honestly. Maybe I just didn't see it and cut it out, but I didn't cut out a zipper guard piece. Julian, was there a zipper guard piece and I just missed it? It's possible. So let's go ahead and take care of that first. So, all right, friends. Trying not to be distressed about my button, my like bobbin not wanting to be released. Like, oh. We also need to find a 7-inch zipper. Oh, there was a zipper guard piece. I thought there was. It's okay. We'll pop on the projector and just cut it out. Okay. First step though, I do want to just go ahead and recut my zipper guard. You'll have to release the hook. Okay. And listen, and then I'm going to pull that right on up. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. Y'all better get you some friends who sew. Y'all better get you some friends who sew, because they're the ones who will be able to find those solutions for you, okay? I'm not saying your girl is over here fretting, but I was not feeling the greatest about this. Okay. So while they are looking that up so kindly for me, I love that for me. Okay, so we've got our new zipper guard piece. I mean, our new zipper piece. I do want to trim that down just a little bit because I do feel like it's a little too thick. And again, I want it to be a little thinner than my actual piece. So I'm cutting about 1/8 of an inch of it off. So that way it fits perfectly. Okay, so let's turn the projector back on. Let's cut out our zipper guard piece and let's see what my homies have found for me in regards to releasing. Because listen, we just can't. I'm like, the one time I fucking make my husband some pants. The one time. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me locate where let's see. I'm trying to locate where my zipper guard is on my pattern pieces because like I said, this comes in the PDF version. It has essentially three files along with it. Within the 3 files has all of the pattern pieces that you need. But there is no like, yep, I got all of the pattern pieces here. There is no like, hey, on this file, you'll find these pattern pieces. So it's not here. There was that one. Oh. Ah, okay. I found the fly piece. Got it. So let's go ahead, turn her back on, cut that out as well. Let's see. Like, let's also see if Julian sent me the video. Like, pull up my messages. Oh, goodness. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to tell you, get some friends who know something about what you be talking about, y'all. And also, like, let me tell you something. Being a Mac, I am a Mac girl, an Apple girly all the way. Let's see what Jeff has to say about this stuck Bernina case. Jeff, hit me with your best shot. Okay, so here we go.
Hello, it's Bernina Jeff from High Fashion Sewing Machines in Grand Junction, Colorado. Tip for your 7 series or any machine that has the large black bobbin and bobbin case. That includes the 7 series, the 5 series, and the new 4 series. Out of nowhere, you'll be sewing along, you go to change your bobbin, and the bobbin case will not come out of the machine. You push
That's exactly it, Jeff. This is exactly it.
You keep pushing this lever.
Yes, Jeff.
Over there, and nothing comes out.
Nothing's coming out.
So you have to.
Jeff understands me.
The little spring.
Yeah, did that.
Latch over here.
Yep.
And then you need to get the whole hook and everything out. I use a little screwdriver.
I don't need to do that though.
I'll get that whole hook system.
I'm like, Jeff, that was aggressive.
And you push on this lever and nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
That whole black unit, the bobbin case holder, the bobbin holder, is stuck in there. So get your little screwdriver. Bernina supplies a little screwdriver.
I have the Bernina screwdriver.
To fit inside this hole on the back side of the 9-hook system. So it's got a.
Side note, I'm over here like, Jeff, what are we talking about? Jeff, are you talking about the Bernina or are you just joking? Just joking. Let's just continue.
Fit inside that hole.
Fitting inside
I hold it with one hand.
Yes.
With the other hand, I hold the hook system and I push in the latch and I tap it on the table and the weight will release that for you.
We're going to try it as soon as we're done cutting this pattern piece out. I'm ready. Jeff got me ready. Jeff said, put it in the hole and tap, tap. I know how to do that. All right, so let's do this. Okay, I feel ready, y'all. I feel ready. I'm excited. Jeff gave me the tools that I need to succeed. And if it was not for my friends on here, but you know what? God saw it fit for me to sew another day between Julian, Jeff, and Crockett P. So I wasn't about to put anybody on a timeout, but did you know that on YouTube Live, you could put people on timeouts? No one's getting put on timeout, just offering that up. Okay, now my projector is like, girl, we're not connecting. So let's go ahead. My technology is not technologying today, so this live might be a little bit longer than we anticipated, but that's okay. Because while projector Polly is acting like she doesn't have sense, we'll come over and we'll take a look at Brenda. And let's see if what Jeff said was facts, okay? Okay, so let's see. Where do I have my tools? I'm like, I have the little red screwdriver he has and everything. Not in here though. Not in here. Not me over here like, yeah, I got all these tools, the same ones, and then can't find them. This is what I mean. I gotta clean up my office, y'all. This is just too much. It's too much. Okay, so we've got our... Okay, so we got this. Okay, so he said to pop this in here. Putting it in here. So while holding the hook and eye system, okay. You guys, I don't know. I think that Brenda might be built different. I don't know, y'all. Because Brenda is like not popping that shit out. Oh, that's a magnet. That's why it's doing that. Okay. She seems like she's like really far in here too. This bobbin does. Okay, let's see if he said something else on this video. Oh. Oh, okay. Got it! Oh, shit. Everything's fine. Okay, so I feel like that was a little traumatic for us. But it's out, right? So we're not going to even talk about it. Let's go ahead and Brenda, now you were misbehaving and acting as though I just didn't oil you, but we will go ahead and oil you again using Bernina's oil, okay? We have success. Courtesy of my man, Jeff, Julian, and Crockett P. Whoosh. Won't he do it? I'm not going to lie. I definitely feel like I was being mad aggressive with this case. I'm not going to say that I'm super gentle with my Berninas, but your girl treats them with care. I will say that. Okay. Everything's fine. We've got a black bobbin in there now. Okay. Good job. Brenda, I hope that's the only issue that we face today. I love you a lot. Let's continue going with good spirits, okay? Now let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and connect and just finish. Let's see. Come on, Polly. Okay. Well, you know what? It's fine because all I need is that one piece. Let's actually quit Epson projection. Let's reopen that to see if that is what the problem is. If that is what the issue is not, we'll just cut it out of the tissue and keep it moving because I feel like these pants are super fast to make, but because of the issues that I'm facing right now, it's not feeling that way. But it's not the pattern. It's obviously my technology. All right, we're connected. Everybody is happy. So let's go ahead and cut out our fly piece as well. So we have our new fly piece here. We're cutting out our fly facing. And again, we only need one of these, but we do also need this to be in the, we also need this out of our interfacing. There is like really just not enough of this interfacing. So I am just going to go ahead and unroll just a little bit more. This is interfacing that I typically use for embroidery, but seeing as though I haven't been embroidering much at all. Okay, so I haven't been embroidering at all. I don't want to like lie to you guys and be like, oh, I haven't been embroidering much. Your girl has not been embroidering. For no reason other than I'm just really feeling a little uninspired about what I would like to embroider, you know? I wanted to do some like, so now we've got our fly facing piece. So let's go ahead and attach these to our main fabric. And we still have a lot of Ponte knit left. Pretty sure I can make the kids something out of that. I'm going to be using a wool mat. I got this wool mat from Oliso. My iron is also in Oliso iron. Golly. Yeah. This weekend, listen, okay, so Julian, what are we embroidering? That's what y'all about to get from Julian Eyes, an embroidery series, because we got to be using this stuff. Okay, so I did not cut that evenly. Let's fold this over and get a more even cut. So what I've really been wanting to do is embroider. I want to make like the collegiate letters. I don't know how to do it though, but I really feel like that is something that I want to embroider. But I'm not saying I don't know how, but I don't know how. I'm like, I don't even know if this iron was hot. Okay, so we've got this attached. That's not attached. That didn't adhere. He said he has to go pick up the damn machine. Well, I mean, at least she's getting the service that she needs, unlike Brenda over here. I'm so sorry, Brenda. Not talking shit about you, girl. Just saying. All right, let's turn off this. And so we also do have to interface our waistband. I'm going to do that when I'm working on the waistband. It would make sense for me to do it now. The only reason why I'm not doing now is because I did label my pieces over there. And so I do kind of want to keep them separated until I need them. Okay. So these pieces have now been interfaced. So let's go back to Brenda, who loves us again. Okay. With our interface pieces, but we do still have to see if we've got a 7-inch zipper. So let's bring the box of zippers on over as well. See what we can find. And honestly, if it's not 7-inch, it's okay. I will just cut it down. Lately, I've been finding pattern pieces that I've cut and just did not and never assembled. And I'm really like, yo, I got to get my life together. Like, why do I keep finding that? Okay, let's see. What is this? Oh, 9-inch. Okay. I'm like, what do we have in the black and gray kind of? So right now, like I keep looking up at the group text that's going on about like the fitting. Oh, 7-inch in this blue. That's going to work. He is welcome. That's all I can say. So we got the rest of our notions that we need. And I'm going to make his drawstring. I will likely make the drawstring off live. All right, so let's go ahead. And this is the pant side that we're working on. And so I'm like, let me go ahead and pull up my instructions. I'm not gonna lie, I've done a zipper install plenty of times, so I feel like I know how to do it. But every time I do it, I doubt myself. So here we are. Now, they have put in their pockets first, but again, that is not what I'm doing. Okay, so we're just stitching. Okay. All right, cool. So we've got our piece here. And so the pattern calls for this to be finished. What I will say about this is that because I'm using a Ponte, I actually don't feel the need to go ahead and finish the curve or like do, typically you would just go ahead and do like a, just do a serger stitch around. You could also do kind of like an overlocking stitch on your sewing machine. I'm not going to do any of that. I don't want you guys to be alarmed and be like, yo, what happened? I'm not going to do any of that. I'm relining my, my magnetic seam guide up so that it's lined back up at that 5/8 inch because that's what the seam allowance for this pattern is. So let's go ahead and continue to sew. Here we go. And so I'm just going to put in a couple of clips here. I'm going to also reset my needle position. There we go. All right. And I do have my notches marked. There we go. Okay, Brenda, you sounded good, girl. Okay, sis. Acting like I didn't oil you. I don't even know why she was misbehaving because she was freshly oiled. Maybe because my office got cold. I don't know. All right. So let's see what they say to do here. Did that. And now we're going to go ahead and put in our zipper. So we're doing this navy blue zipper stitch. Shout out to the people who were nice opening these up. So here's our zipper piece. I'm using foot 4D for no other reason aside from the fact that that's what my machine came with. So I'm going to change my foot now. And so now we're just going to go ahead and put our, oops. Here we go. So we're going to line this up like so. Now, if you are a pin user, this is the perfect opportunity for you to use pins. I generally speaking don't use pins unless, of course, I am putting in a zipper. I feel like these directions, I feel like the pictures of the directions say one thing, but the words say another. Oh, maybe it's because I gotta fold it out. Okay, that's why. Okay. I'm gonna fold this out like this. Put this down like so, and then we're gonna stitch on that side is what I feel like it's saying to do. Hold on a second. Let me see if Julian said anything. Nope, he didn't. So I must be going right. That just feels awkward to do. I don't know why. And I think it's because this isn't how I've done like my zipper flies typically. Not saying that this is wrong. Just like this just feels weird. So I'm clipping down the right side because I'm stitching down this left side. So, oops, not clipping with that one though. All right, so I'm gonna move my, well, I guess I could leave that seam gauge in there and then just stitch that side. Okay. So I just moved my foot over, but I moved it to the wrong side. So we're gonna do, then I'm gonna move it over to this -3 position. I feel like I could probably move it over more. Yeah, we'll put it in 4 position here. Now, again, for me, this feels weird because typically this is not how I do my zipper installs for zipper fly fronts. But I like to learn new techniques, so that's why I decided to do it the way that it had on the paper. Okay, so now we're going to fold this over like so. And so then we'll be attaching the other side on that side, creating our zipper fly is what I'm guessing. So let's go ahead and do our stitch over here where we're stitching down our fly. I do want to press this. So let me go press that in place and I'll be right back. I'm not gonna lie, I hate pressing, but it is such a necessary evil, you know? Like if you want that shit to look fire, you gotta press. So now we're gonna go ahead and do my dance. I always feel super insecure like sewing around this curve. I'm always like, did I curve it right? You know what I mean? You gotta go slow going around them curves. Okay. But that shit looks fire. Can you see it? I don't know if you can. There we go. There we go. It looks good. We looking good. We looking good. Okay. So it says to press under 3/8 and reinforce the clip. Open the zipper. Cool. Excellent. So let's go and press. So what we're pressing is 3/8 on this side. So we're just going to fold that under, and that is going to be 3/8. Yeah, I really wish that I had like one of my, I bought one of those seam like gauge, not seam gauge, but seam guide things. And it was silver and it was amazing. But yeah, I don't know where it went. I was looking for it the other day because I needed it to do some pressing. And I could not find it. So let's go back over here, because now we're going to press. Right here. And we're going to freestyle this measurement. Why are we freestyling the measurement? Because I can't for the life of me find shit in here. I'm so sorry. So we're just going to go ahead, press this under. There we go. And I hit it with a little bit of steam. We just want it to be cooking, you know? Okay. That feels good enough to me. Now we're going to go ahead and come on back to the machine. And so it did say that we should go ahead and, no, that's not what it said yet. Okay, cool. All right, so now we're lining these up, because essentially this folded over, bring y'all down so we can see what I'm doing. So this is going to be lining up with this. So I'm going to just begin to kind of clip that in place. Yes, you should pin it. No, that is not how that goes. It is like this. There we go. So we will pop a pin or two up in this bitch. I just want to make sure I have lined this up properly with the top of the pant. I'm going to just go ahead and clip that into place right here. I'm going to unzipper this. And then from here, so I can pull this up. There we go. Okay, so we want this folded over. And then this is going to be going on this like this. I do think that, of course, pressing is important. I don't want y'all to come for me in the comments. I do think that working with knits, I don't want to say pressing isn't necessary, but what I will say that pressing becomes a little, I don't know. I don't want to say not necessary, but it becomes a little questionable because sometimes the knit fabric is not going to hold that press the same way that working with a woven fabric will, you know. And so I'm just going to go ahead and pin that in there too. And so now, according to these directions, let's see, what are we doing here? Boom. And it says that we're supposed to baste. I don't believe in basting, y'all. I really don't. Judge someone else. But I get why they want us to baste it. I will say that this is not typically how I do it. What I normally do is I normally put my zipper actually onto the this here piece, which we'll be working on in a second. But this is how I would normally do it, is I would prepare my zipper guard. I would baste my zipper to the zipper guard and then put the entire zipper guard into the pant. But again, we're doing a new technique and I'm here for it. So let's go ahead and sew this in. We're basting, so I'm going to go ahead and make my stitch to be about this 4 as far as stitch length goes. Because of course the purpose of the basting stitch is not construction. It is simply to hold it in place. I'm kind of hesitant to release this last one though. Okay. Okay, so now that we've basted that on, things are looking good. Let's just do a zipper up just to kind of see. Oh, snizzap, that looks, it looks good. So this is going to be how it finishes. You won't even be able to see. He's got a blue zipper. I love it. I love that for us. Okay, so now we're doing our right sides together on this here piece. For the, let's see, this area here, let's see. Oh, with wrong sides together. That's right, with wrong sides together. I do feel like I need to trim that down so that shit looks neat. We'll do that after we finish. Let's press this in half though. So we're just gonna press this real quick. And then after I press it, I am gonna trim down so you can't see the, because I don't want you to be able to see my interfacing. So I pressed it in half. I'm just gonna trim down. Now, if I plan on finishing this edge here, right? You wouldn't be able to see it, but Bernadette is not on, nor have her threads been changed. So we're just going to nicely trim that down some. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and yeah, I am using my zipper foot still. Completely optional. You're welcome to change your feet if that is your jam. Let's see. It's not close enough. Perfect. Gonna just come on down here. And also typically and I don't know if it's because I typically am only installing fly fronts on like woven patterns, but I would have normally folded this in half with the right sides together, stitched together the bottom and the top area right here. So I would have only stitched together this area and this area, then flipped it out so the right sides were out. But that's not what we're doing here, so whatever. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and with this underneath the fly, we are going to go ahead and stitch straight through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I clip this so that this is out of the way, because I actually want to stitch this while my zipper is closed. Again, this is probably something that is really based in whatever feels right to you. I just want to do it with it closed because I feel like I'll be able to get a better, I don't know, a better fit that way. So I'm going to go ahead, line this up here. And I'm lining it up with the top of my pant. Let's go ahead and clip it into place. Maybe I will do it first with it unzipped. Feels like that might be a little easier. So we're like this. I'm gonna just simply clip that into place there. And so the zipper is basted into place. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm at -4 position. And I am at a stitch length of 2. And it says to just, quite literally the directions say to sew through all of that thickness. I just want to make sure that I'm quoting that correctly. Seeing this now, I wish I had done it the way that, I wish I had finished it differently. It's fine though. Now I am gonna use this opportunity to zipper her up, or zipper these pants up. So that I can make sure that I get a good zipper install at the bottom. And so since I didn't, like when I got down to this bottom area for my first zipper install, actually, it feels like this kind of got caught up. in there, which I didn't want. Came over a little too far for when I was sewing over the this whole, what is this curvature down here. So I just want to make sure that I'm able to kind of line that up properly and pull that out of the way. And again, I'm just looking to make sure things are lined up well. So happy I did press this area. I may not have pressed them pin tucks, but I did press this. And it does make a difference, friends. And I'm saying that for my anti-ironing friends that are like me. All right. Okay, so our zipper is now completely installed. Now I just want to look at it from the front just to kind of make sure. And so this is what our zipper is looking like in the front. Dare I say that shit looks fire? Like, okay, go ahead, Aaronica. Oh, snizzap. Okay, so let's not get caught up in that because your girl will. Everything else is pretty straightforward. So we're going to do our pocket installs now. Again, we are skipping the welt pocket. I'm so sorry, Julian. I just don't feel like doing it right now. So let's go ahead and change the, we're going to go ahead and change up the, I'm sorry, I had to pick up all the stuff off the floor. I didn't want to roll over it. But we're going to go ahead and change our stitches, or rather our, what is this? Our thread on Bernadette. Good morning, Bernadette. I hope you are ready to work. Unlike your sister, sorry, Brenda, not talking smack about you, girl. I'm just saying, you just was not ready this morning. I don't know. Maybe Brenda is like, girl, you cannot ask me to work when it's cold, because also that's the reason why this live is so late, because same girl, like you cannot ask me to work and be completely functional when it's cold outside. Yeah, I could not get myself out of bed because it's freezing. And last night I was up and your girl was writing. I didn't publish the post that I was working on, but again, it's new pattern November, which is why I was like, oh, I got to get done Julian's patterns. So today I am doing Julian's pattern. Tomorrow I'm going to do Nikki's summer pattern. Nikki, aka Beauty J'adore. Because listen, Monica made it, put that metal zipper in, and I was like, yes, this is it. This is what I needed in my life. And I've actually made, I've essentially made Nikki's pattern before, just of course, self-drafted. Where's my brush? Cause ooh, listen, Bernadette, you dirty girl. Somebody been working. At this point in time, I need to open Bernadette up, get her nice and cleaned up, and get her oiled. This weekend, I highly doubt I'll be sewing this weekend because I think that we're going to be going to Six Flags. They are doing a media day for the opening of one of their new rides. So I'm going to take the kids there this weekend. I wish I could just outsource that to my husband for him to take them and for me to not even, be consulted. But since I'm the media person, I guess I have to show up. Also, Denver was not feeling his children this morning. Apparently, someone took his keys. Um, he was very, very unhappy. That's why we had to follow through at making these pants. Hopefully, when he comes home and sees he has a new pair of pants, and he loves Julian, so I'm sure he will be quite excited when I'm like, I made you Julian's pants. So next time we do this YouTube live, I'm gonna have my music ready, because TikTok is really the only place that allows you to play whatever you want. But there are like playlists and stuff like that that YouTube does allow. Your girl's not trying to get any kind of copyright issues, okay? Okay, so now we're threaded. Now the real question going forward is, are we going to do the waistband the way that they said to do the waistband or not? And yes, I know I need to empty my little thing, okay? Judge someone else, okay? Judge somebody else. Let's go ahead. This here, being able to add this and remove it, is one of my favorite features of having my L890, which is saying a lot because there's a lot of features that I really, really do love. We're going to go ahead and get these pockets installed. Again, I'm not following directions for the pockets or probably the rest of the pattern. Okay, Bernadette, good morning, sis. Okay. First set of first pocket in. Let's get our second pocket going. So my next pattern drops next Tuesday, and it is the Primrose. The Primrose puffy sweatshirt. My husband thinks that the pockets on it are super cool because I made it so the pockets are I made it so that the pockets are like hidden. And I think it's really cool. He also thinks it's really cool. Okay, line that up nicely. I'm really excited about it. Okay, so we've got one of our pockets fully completed. Yes, that L890 is glorious, okay? So for our pocket, I'm like, let me actually just physically move this back some so that I can do this on camera. And so I'm just going to go ahead and fold this over like so. Now at this point, you can absolutely understitch. I'm not going to. Namely because I just don't feel like it, because I feel like the live is going on for a really long time. But of course, if you do understitch this, it will give it a really crispy look. Then we're just going to clip this area here. And I also don't know if the instructions say to understitch. But we got one pocket completely done. Okay, let's get this other pocket done. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get this pinned in or clipped in place as well. I'm so excited about these pants, y'all. You don't even understand. These have been on my to make for a year. And I keep saying that because I have wanted to make them. I really feel like sewing for, or rather, I will say that sewing men's clothing, I always feel like it really does require you to be able to fit and tailor and, but honestly, pattern pieces are pattern pieces, right? Okay, so our front is done. We got it. We got it in there. Now let's go ahead and sew our back pieces right sides together. Down this crotch curve. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go back and do my crotch curve on the other, on the front piece in just a second. Then we're going to do our side seams, center seam. And then for the most part, the pant will be constructed minus the waistband. Again, for the waistband, I think I am going to have to put in a button. Listen, I don't normally, or rather before I got my L890, it wasn't important to me for my threads to match my fabric. But I will say having your threads match your fabric, y'all, it just looks sexy. Like, look at this black on black. Like, look at that. Just sexy. Okay. He gonna have to wear black undies with this though. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead. Now I'm not gonna sew. I'm gonna sew for my center crotch seam. I'm gonna sew up until this notch, and then when I go back to Brenda, we'll finish that center or this crotch seam. I'm only gonna go up that far because it's gonna be too close to that zipper for me, or at least that's how I feel, and I want to get as close as I can, so that there's a clean finish with that zipper. So we're gonna serge up until that first notch though. And that is so that I can go ahead and finish putting together and finish assembling the pant. So let's finish doing that now. Right sides together. Together forever. Okay. Doing my side seam right now. Now for this pattern, I don't know if I need to lengthen it for him or what. So even though I do feel like I used a good fabric, this is technically a muslin because I've never made this pattern before. And I don't know how it's going to fit him. I don't know, you know what I mean? So we're going to finish the pant. And then when he gets home from work today, we will try it on him. And then we'll go from there to see what adjustments, if any, that we have to make. I'm not going to hem it. For reference, my husband's about 6'4". But I also don't know how he wants these to hit on his shoes, right? So we know that like having a little high water situation is kind of in right now. And I don't know if he wants it to fit that way or if he wants it to fall lower on his shoe. So I want him to try it on before I do a hem. Because if he's like, oh, everything fits fine and like it's not as long as it would be if like if we were wanting it to hit the floor, if it was like a flood length, then I can, you know, do a narrow hem. But if it is kind of long, then I can do probably your normal like 1/2 inch to inch hem. But I might need to do like a 1/4 inch hem, just depending on where it hits. So I will not be hemming it today or on live. And I've seen him wear like a 32-inch inseam. That's a little, it hits a little high on him. I've also seen him in a 34-inch inseam. And obviously that probably hits like the top of his shoe. So we'll just see how that fits. Now, I will say that I definitely plan on remaking this pattern in as many colors of Ponte that I can get. Julian, what other fabrics have you made it? You've never been able to get it to work for you, Crocopy? So I had to re-straighten mine. Now, here's what I will say about this pattern. I plan on making this time and time again. This is a very easy pattern. I really have enjoyed the making of it so far, minus the hiccups from my machine. I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited about this, y'all. Okay. So now the pant is constructed. Very excited about this. Now we just have to get our waistband on. I'm not gonna lie, these kind of look like they might be a little small for him. I made him the size 40, but I also kind of struggle with being able to look at things to see if they fit. So this could be completely wrong as well, because my husband's waist is about a 40-inch. He's like maybe 40 and a half, 41 inch. So Ponte, scuba, and Liverpool. Oh, I have Liverpool for sure. I think I have some scuba too. All right, so let's go ahead. Now, I do have, this is the back piece right here. What I'm going to do with my back piece, if I can, where did I put my, yeah, I think I lost my, oh, is that it? I feel like I lost my piece of elastic. So the pattern is calling for us to thread the elastic through. What I think I'm going to do instead is I'm going to pre-attach my elastic to this back piece. So that way when I put my bands together, it's not something that I have to kind of worry about. So also I've got piece 19 right here. I've got piece 18, which I believe is the front right band. So we have to press these together. So let's go ahead and take these to the machine, or rather to the, dang, I got stuff all over the floor. Like things I need. Let's pick those up. Let's take these to the pressing pad and do that. While I do that, I'm gonna like see if I can locate where my piece of elastic went to. I'm like, at this point, you know, everything is looking a little crazy for me. Oh, there it is. It's right up there. Right up there. So I think that with this elastic piece, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch it into place along these side seams. So that way when I fold it over, I don't have to worry about threading it. Doing it that way makes it so I can still go ahead and put in my, my piece of, I cut out 2 of these waistband pieces and I didn't need to. So put that to the side. But doing it this way will make it so that I can still thread through, if I decide to, well, I am going to make it. But as I decide to make my, what is it? Drawstring, I'll still be able to use the drawstring with that. So. We need more water in here. This will be fine though. Okay. So this one is piece, what is this? 19. Let me just move that up there. This one is piece 18. Okay, so the 18 piece is longer than the 19 piece. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and attach these together. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And then I'm going to fold this over. We're going to be folding this up so that we can get that clean finish along that waistband. Now, only because Julian is watching is why I'm doing this the right way. Otherwise, he would get hit with a bands will make you dance type of install here. But I'm going to pretend I have behavior because, again, Julian is watching. So let's take these back. So this is the right side because, or maybe it's the left side. Hold on a second. Let's see here. Let me pull up my pattern pieces again because, listen, I will get it wrong. Okay, so let's see. This one is what it looks like. So I'm going to be putting this in here. This is pattern piece 18. So this one goes here. This is pattern piece 19. So this goes here. Yeah. And then we're going to also go ahead and stitch that down together. Okay. This looks good. I am still going to label my pieces though, because listen, your girl will mess this completely up, and I just don't want to do it. That is not what I'm here for today. I'm here to get it right. I'm here to get it right. Okay, so let's go back to the machine and install it this way. There we go. And again, I am just making sure that I have my elastic in here because I am not trying to thread anything through. I just don't feel like it, you know? Oh, that got dirty. So now I put the elastic on this side, obviously, because we're putting our right sides together. And so I wanted my elastic on the inside. Flip it over. Lining this up here. Again, our elastic is kind of like on this top area. Let me just clip that into place so I can line this back up. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and also put these right sides together. I am going to make sure that I leave this part here, right there, kind of just not sewn. And that's essentially our seam allowance. Do the same thing on the other side, which is piece number, again, 18. All right. So now that I've done that, when I flip this out, right, this is going to give me the perfect finish right here. I am going to go ahead and make sure that let's see, this is piece number 18. I want to iron one side under, but hold on a second. I'm like, your girl's got to remember which side goes on which. So we've got our pant here. And so I need for this, which side is longer? 18 is longer. So it's going to be like this. I'm going to just go ahead and add this in right now. And then I'll Okay, you know what? No. I can't do the install right now because I've got to put in my buttonhole so that way I can go ahead and do the crossover. So I will just go ahead and kind of, I need to add in the buttonhole so that I can add the drawstring in there. So I want my my buttonhole to kind of be like right here. So I'm going to mark it on the inside. And I need it to be on this side. So put that there. And then we need it on the other side too. And one of the things you can do, you're always welcome to use the grommet tool. I'm just going to be making a buttonhole. I'm lining it up just to make sure it looks right. And since we have the black thread in here, doing it as with the black buttonhole is going to look better. So I'm going to go ahead, pull this out. Now, my machine comes with the option of being able to make a circle, which I feel like is super cool. Actually, let me just go ahead. And so it does like a reinforced circle for drawstrings and stuff like that, which honestly I love. I'm here for. Makes me feel very happy. So I'm going to slide this under. I might have to open this up a little, maybe. Or it might be fine because again, I'm just doing this hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my needle to kind of help me find where I'd like for it to end up. That is not where I want it to be. There we go. I'm going to do it twice. I did it twice just because I want it to be extra reinforced. And so this is what that looks like, this little drawstring hole. And so on the outside, you can't see anything because again, we did it nice and black. So we're going to do the same thing on this side as well. And again, I am going to do it twice just because I just want to make sure that that gets reinforced well. Just make sure. No, I feel like that is not going to do it. I think that should be fine. If it's not, we'll just use our seam ripper to take it out. The hole that I made is super tiny, so we were able to do it with no problem. So again, we've got this tiny hole here. So I'm just going to go ahead and just use my snips to go ahead and make sure that we've got this hole coming through here. Okay, so we've got our hole there. Do the same thing on the other side. I guess I could just use And I'm 100% sure that if I were to whip out my, I have that, the leather, um, the leather hole maker thing. I could also use that. We're just going to use scissors for today. And so that's now done. Now what I'm going to do is not how the instructions call for it. I'm just going to pop this in and put this on like I would normally do a banded waistband. And I think it'll be fine. I think it'll actually turn out well. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Now, of course, make sure that you're being mindful of the side that you put your hole in, because that's going to be your right side. So let's hope and pray I did it the right way. Okay, so I'm gonna just line this up like so. And for time's sake, I really just want to get this waistband in. And I'm being mindful to make sure that my seams line up on the side. Let's turn it so y'all can see what I'm doing. And so I'm looking at this seam here. This is the other back side seam, which I want to line up with the side seam of where my pockets essentially are. So I'm gonna put in a clip there. And then lining it up here. And so that has lined up perfectly. I'm gonna unzipper this, and then I'm just going to go ahead, like I said, and install this like I would do just your normal basic one. I'm using my nails because I have pointy nails to just make sure that that corner looks nice and sharp. If you do not have sharp nails, I highly recommend having a point turner, so that you can make sure that that is in there, and so that your corners are turned out beautifully. So I'm gonna just go ahead and pop this in. Now, if you're doing this according to the instructions, what you're gonna do is you're only going to sew in this bottom area. Then you're going to press this top one under about 5/8 of an inch, and then you're going to sew that down. I am not, because I'm just simply not. So you should not need to do any stretching. This should be a 1-to-1 easy install. I'm going over that zipper, so I'm going very slow. And I'm also going over the pocket, or getting ready to go over the pocket rather. So I'm going to make sure that that lines up perfectly. Apparently I already took out that pocket piece. Okay. Not gonna lie, pretty sure that we did that wrong, but that's okay. We had to see it through because of how we did, we've already done our holes. Yeah, I still have like Halloween stuff just sitting on my desk. And I'm just trying to figure out what life is. and why I still have Halloween stuff out here, you know? Like, could I not? And so while it might not necessarily be necessary, I do tend to go a little bit slower over my areas of fabric that there are like more fabric. So right now I'm going over 4 layers of fabric because I'm doing the pocket, the pin tuck. Now I'm getting ready to like hit my zipper guard. So if you feel like you need to slow down, definitely go slower to make sure that you're getting that in properly. Okay. All right, so that looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm actually I'm gonna go back over this area one more time because I don't know, it just feels like it could use a little bit of reinforcement. Now you're supposed to also be putting in a hook and eye. I don't have a hook and eye, y'all. So I'm gonna have to run by Joann's today and pick one up so that I can finish them. But man, okay, this is, now I was very scared of this pant pattern, y'all. I was so scared. But this is all that we can get done for right now because we still have to, let me turn you guys around. Oops. So this is where we are as far as the pattern is. We are unhemmed, but we've got our zipper fly installed. Right? So we have the zipper fly install. We got our pockets. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and get that hook and eye. I need to just go ahead and tuck in. I've got to sew in my tails here, as well as over here. So I've got to tuck in those tails. And I might even, while I'm at Joann's picking up the hook and eye, I might actually buy a drawstring if I can get it. But yeah, like, I feel like this is good. It took us a little under 2 hours. It probably would have gone faster if we didn't have so many hiccups with technology, aka Brenda. Sorry, Brenda. But yeah, we got our zipper install done. Do I like this method of zipper install better or worse? I don't think I actually have a feeling about it. I do like how clean my zipper does look. So I'm going to get my hook and eye. So obviously I'm going to have a hook and an eye here. So it goes over just like that. I probably could have moved my drawstring back on this side so it's a little further back. I don't even know if he'll use the drawstring, but I don't know. I might decide to take this first part of the waistband out and move the drawstring back a little further. I probably won't. But yeah, so let's put a clip in this because this is how it's going to be. We're going to have a little hook and eye stitch. Yeah, this makes me so happy. So when Esposo comes home, we will do a try on for him. I hope I didn't. I think I cut that and I needed it, but it's fine. We'll just go over this with a regular stitch. We'll do that with a zigzag stitch to go. It helps. Okay. So I'm going to move my drawstring. I think that the drawstring is fine on this side. I'll move it back on this side so that it's a little further back so that he can go ahead and cinch that in tighter. I'm quite happy that there is some stretch to it because I do think that his thick thighs are going to need it. But overall, this pattern was a super easy sew. I do need to press it out so that it doesn't look quite as wrinkled as it does right now. we'll try it on him. We'll see how he feels in it, and check my social media for updates on it. Thank you so very much for joining me this morning and sticking with me through Brenda having a baby. Just joking. Shout out to you if you get the reference. But through Brenda's issue with the bobbin, we were able to sort that out courtesy of Jeff from Bernina. Thanks, Jeff. Shout out to you, bud. But yeah, so we'll be back next Thursday. I don't know what new pattern we're going to be sewing next Thursday, but I do know that tomorrow, probably by myself, I'll be sewing, of course, Beauty du Jour's. I don't even know what pattern number it is. Okay, so in truth, I don't own the pattern just yet, but there's a sale happening on Simplicity. So I will probably buy it. I don't want to mispronounce your name. Nada? We'll call you Miss Rodriguez. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, this was simply a muslin. I hope that it's a wearable muslin for him. If not, it will be cut up and it will be given to my oldest daughter, where we'll just turn it into some pants for her because we don't waste, okay? Thank you so much for joining. I'm really proud of these pants. If you're someone who was like, I don't feel comfortable, confident sewing for the male presenting person in my life, I hope this gave you some more confidence in order to do that. I will catch y'all on the flip side. I will likely post a picture of him in these pants in my community tab so that you guys can see it. So thanks for joining me. I will see you all next week.